Hey Sign Fam, Robin here. Just wanted to let you know that this episode was recorded a few weeks ago in advance of many of the closures and shutdowns caused by the current global pandemic. Please enjoy, and we'll be back with some more recent content soon. Welcome to Signs Unscripted. I'm Robin Donovan, Signs of the Times editor-in-chief, and with me today is
Jeremy Vanderkraats, owner of Signs by Van in Monterey, California.
And Jeremy, we've been trying to do this podcast for a little while because you're super busy. Tell me about that.
Yes, we have. Well, starting probably about a month and a half ago, once the winter time kind of gets slow during the winter, anywhere between about November through January. And as soon as February hit, things just turned on. And since then, it's just been nonstop. So we're definitely thankful for that, but it's been a heck of a ride so far. And here goes 2020.
Yeah. So what are you expecting for 2020? So I know you're specializing in dimensional signs and you're family owned, just to give people some context. There's a lot of uncertainty right now, I think, between viruses and elections and everything in between. What are you expecting?
Well, what we've seen is kind of a trend. We started hitting social media really hard about 2 years ago. And starting 2 years ago, depending on, the time of year, and there's a lot of other factors, but we'd see our workflow kind of go up and down and up and down. And something that I've really focused on as an owner, and again, I'm the second owner. My father was the founder of Signs by Van, and he's still an integral part of what we do here on a daily basis. But what I've noticed is the bigger my net, meaning the farther that I open my radius of where I'm pulling work from, we used to just pull from our local county, and it's a big county. But the farther I went out, now we're serving 4 or 5 different counties within about 200 miles of where we're at. The farther that we started reaching out to people on social media, via Google or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, the more solid our workflow had become, just based on bigger net, more clients. But then again, that also adds a lot of logistical issues with being able to service that big of an area. But what we've really tried to focus on is through social media, reaching out to a larger audience of folks, and really picking and choosing the people we want to do business with based on, the type of signs that we specialize in, not so much taking jobs just because, you need to make that little bit of extra money for that week or that month. So that's really helped with the consistency of our workflow.
So kind of doing what you do best, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, it's good to specialize in something and stick with that. Now, the other hard part about it is we've always prided ourselves on not turning people away based on, it being a small job. And, there's a fine line between, taking jobs on that are extremely labor intensive or design intensive, and, turning people away. We really try to focus on taking care of as many people as possible. But when it comes to doing those small jobs like $500 or less or $1,000 or less, we really want to try to focus on the local community. If let's first say I've got somebody that's 150 miles away and they want us to go and take some vinyls off of a window, what we tend to do is we'll connect them with somebody that we know, because we've got a really good network of sign shops that we get along with and we partner with. And we'll throw those jobs to them because it's more conducive for them to be able to handle those projects because they're in the area.
Sure.
So never turning away people, more so guiding them in the right direction. And then you keep a client when they have other bigger jobs, or they'll come back to us one way or the other because we've done right by them and we've helped them accomplish what they're going to get.
Cool. And so you mentioned social media, and I know we talked a little bit offline about your Instagram. So tell me, what are you doing with Instagram? How often are you posting? What's your strategy there? Because you have about 1,200 followers, which is pretty healthy. So what are you doing with that?
Well, what we're trying to do is, the big thing for Instagram right now, what we're seeing is everything needs to be organic. There's no easy way to build a huge group of followers. And the number one thing that I suggest to any sign company out there is making sure that you don't buy your followers. With as much content as we're posting on Instagram and the quality is very, very high, we have a mixture of stuff that I do personally myself as the owner. I've had my marketing group, Marketing 360, come out and say, look, we'll manage your social media for you. But I just don't see any value to having somebody else manage my content that I'm passionate about, because no one's going to be able to tell my story as well and as detailed as I am, because I'm here every day. If anyone ever tells you like, hey, I'll take over your social media and I'll post content for you, you got to kind of question what kind of content are they actually putting out there. And with regards to how much I actually post, I probably post once or twice every day or every other day. As fellow sign makers, we know that a lot. So we're at 465 posts, and we've been doing it for about 2.5 years. So we're about ready to hit our 500th post. And, there's you have cool projects, and then you have some boring, run-of-the-mill projects that all kind of, everyone knows that you get that really cool set of projects. Well, what we've been really pushing for is trying to have the consistent, really neat projects. And people out there, other sign companies, I'd say probably 300 out of our 1,200 followers are other sign companies. And we try to share value with them and, teach them how we're doing stuff. And gone are the days that you want to hold on to your tips and your tricks. Share that with people. And more times than not, it's actually going to help your bottom line, because if those companies don't have the same tools you have, they don't have the same expertise or the same employees with experience, they're going to end up coming back to you and say, hey, you know what, I just can't handle this. Can you guys build this for me? And you really make more at the end of the day if you share what you're really good at and how you do it. I've found that to be true, at least in my case.
Yeah, that's something we deal with on the journalism side of things as well. Just people being interested in sharing their work on varying levels, and certainly some people have told us that they consider their work proprietary. But yeah, I have always advocated for the best advertisement being a confident presentation of what you're capable of, right? And so that's it's nice to hear that you're thinking in that way as well. One thing I wanted to ask you is, so you mentioned sometimes you've got the dream project, sometimes it's an everyday project. How do you pick and choose what you post?
Well, it's funny. So I got a great example. Right now we're doing a project that came in. It's just over about $100,000 project, and that's a pretty darn big project for our shops. Not the biggest, but it's definitely in the upper echelon. And there's so many. What it is it's a campground for adults, and we are theming the entire campground. So we're talking 46 dimensional signs, fully custom, big rough beam work for all the frames of all the signs. And, the signs are really cool. They're sandblasted Western red cedar, and they look absolutely gorgeous. But even down to the nitty-gritty of how we're taking, we have 3.5-inch cedar posts that come straight from Tractor Supply, and they're not rough. They look like they've been through, they've been processed through a machine. They're clean. And we're going through and we're hand grinding every single one of those down. And we take a blowtorch and we're torching these things and making them black. And we take a finishing wheel and we scrape all the black off and infuse that ash into the cedar. And then we take that and we actually are going to stain that and coat it and protect it. So there's 4 different processes in just to make a single post look really old and really cool and make it look like it was hand carved or hand chipped out with an axe. Mm-hmm. So whether it's the big 3-dimensional, piece going over the entrance that we're doing, or it's just, showing people how to make a beautiful post and a brand new, post look really old and rustic, that's the passion that the owner needs to have is realizing what people are going to look at and go, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like, how did they get to that point? How did they make a brand new gorgeous sign look like it's been there for 30 years? So you just got to pick and choose.
Yeah, and it sounds like kind of what you're saying is like you as the sign company owner have a sense, like what's cool and fun and interesting, and probably the same thing that piques your interest is going to be interesting to people on Instagram as well.
Yep. And your feedback comes from the people. So the people, they talk. And if you post something, I constantly reflect and I look back at my post. If I've got a post that gets, 28 likes on it, then that was an okay post. But if I post a video and I'm like, hey guys, I'm Jeremy Vanderkraats, I'm going to show you today how you can achieve a look like this. That video gets 295 likes. I know that people are responding better to video. And that's a trend that we've seen in the signage industry and in the marketing industry as a whole, is video is the new king. And it's very, you can't hide behind video. People take photos and you can Photoshop them and you can make, you can lie behind a photo, But when you are on video, it's you, it's raw, and you don't get a second cut. You can't Photoshop a video. I mean, you can, but it's just you. So people love videos, and so
they do.
We're doing a lot more. We just started a new YouTube page called Signs by Van, and it's half for our clients and it's half for sign companies. And we basically walk through, and we've paid a professional videographer to come in and videotape us talk about the processes of sign making, and as a client, how to better prepare yourself when going into the wild world of buying signs from a sign maker. So, one thing we're educating sign makers on how to do what we do, and on the other hand, we're educating and giving buyers of signs information so they feel comfortable about making a purchase, whether it's graphics or fully three-dimensional, incredible, stuff like we do. So, we're just putting out as much content as possible and trying to add value, and I feel like we're going to get that back tenfold.
Awesome. So we're just about out of time. Can you remind folks where they can go to visit your Instagram page and how they can learn more about your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to signsbyvan.com. You can go to Instagram at signs_by_van. And also we have a brand new YouTube channel that we just released about 4 to 5 weeks ago. All you got to do is type in Signs by Van on the YouTube search bar and it'll take you right to us. And we are open to any and all questions. If you guys want to call us directly, we're here as a resource. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us today.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for being a guest.
You got it. I appreciate it. Thanks.